What is up, YouTube? It's your boy King of Thrift, back with another video to help you guys crush it on eBay. What we're going to be talking about today is the best way to price your items, the best way to sell them. Should you list them as a buy it now, or should you list them for an auction? So stick around. All right, everyone, welcome back. If this is your first time to my channel, like I said, this channel is devoted to helping you guys crush it on eBay. What I do here is basically show you guys, I basically just share my journey, you know, as far as what helped me on my way, on my rise up in this game, to show you guys how you can avoid some of the common pitfalls that I faced, you know, some of the hardships that I went through, and, you know, basically to help you guys avoid these things, and to basically also teach you guys the best practices and the things that will make it easier and help you make more profits much faster. So let's get right into it, guys. Figuring out the best way to sell your item is a pretty simple process. The first thing that you want to do is go into eBay's website and look for your exact item. Look for the model number or the exact item that you have. And the first thing you want to do is go straight to the completed items and to the sold items and see how many actually sold. And you're looking for how many sold versus how many didn't sell. And what that's going to do is give you your sell-through rate. Now, your sell-through rate is, you know, anything over, I would say 30 to about 50% is a pretty good sell-through rate. So you can pretty much count on, so in other words, if 50 out of 100 of what you have are selling, then that's a pretty good indicator that you're going to sell yours also, as long as you're pricing it competitively and it's not in just, you know, some sort of terrible condition. As long as it's in you know, good, decent condition, then a 30 to 50% sell-through rate is going to be good. The next thing you want to do is find out what the average sell price is. And this is fairly easy and straightforward. All the items that are like yours, that are identical, see how many of them sold. So, you know, like I said, if 50 out of 100 are selling, then that's a 50% sell-through rate, which is great. If 30 out of 100 are selling, or if 3 out of 10 are selling, that's going to give you a 30% sell-through rate, which is also a decent sell-through rate. And you can, you know, you can pretty well plan on that item is going to sell, even though it might take a little bit longer than something would say a 50, or, you know, a lot of things, well, not a lot of things, but some things that are really hot will even have like a 70% or an 80% sell-through rate. And those items are much fewer and further between, but they do exist. So, you know, with something like that, you know, you can, in other words, you can pay a little more for something that has a higher sell-through, because the odds are you're going to sell yours. Now, determining the average sale price is going to be a little more difficult if the particular item that you have, let's say the highest one sold for $100, and then you go down on the other end and you see that the cheapest ones are selling for, let's just say, $30. Well, then you know, your average sell-through price is going to be between $30 and $100. And for me, you know, in that particular instance, but again, it's going to require a little more research. Like I said, you're looking at sell-through rates and you're looking at average sale prices. And average sale prices can only be determined by, you know, looking at all the ones that have sold. What the average sell price is going to be determined by, like I said, if the highest one, it went for 100, the lowest one went for 30, and, you know, a lot of those in between there are selling for, say, 50, then your average sell price would probably be maybe $65. And that's about what you would want to price your item at. Then in that case, I would actually recommend, since you are new sellers, to price your item, you know, slightly under that. So maybe $60 or $59 or even $49 in the beginning. Now, personally, if something has an average sell-through price for me of, say, you know, $70, then I usually price mine on the high end. I might price it at about $85. In other words, I price mine closer to the top selling items, and that's just because I do have a lot more customers. I have more stores on eBay, and you know, it's basically more outlets and more regular shoppers. So therefore, that affords me the opportunity to get a little higher price than you would as a newbie. So just keep that in mind. Just because something is cheap doesn't necessarily mean that you should buy it. If something is really cheap, let's say it's only a few bucks, you know, and you know that it may be at the store that particular thing is worth, let's just say, for argument's sake, let's say $18. And you could pick it up for, let's say, $1. That sounds like a pretty good deal, you know. But if you go on eBay and you see that the sell-through rate is, let's say, under 15%, maybe it's 10% or 15%. In other words, 15 out of 100 are selling. Even though that thing is $1, even if it's a quarter, you probably just want to leave it. Unless you're willing to play the long game, and in which case, you know, you might want to buy a bunch of those and just sit on them. Or you might want to buy that one. Or if you're willing, you can buy that one and sit on it for a month or 2 or 3. or even 6, you know, I mean, who knows? But like I said, cheap doesn't necessarily equal profit. So it's all about what the market is willing to pay for your item, and eBay determines the price of any given item, no matter what the retail value is. Now, if you've done your research and you've done your homework and you've looked at completed items, and you've determined your sell-through, or you can't determine your sell-through rates or an average sell price, maybe your particular item there aren't any, or maybe there's just a few, and maybe the few that are on there are actually different than the particular one that you have, and some small nuance, here or there. Regardless, needless to say, if you can't determine, the average sell-through price, or a pretty good indicator, if you can't get an indicator of the average sell price, then the best thing to do is just throw it up on an auction. And in that case, if you pay, say, $10 for the item, then, put it on the auction for what you're willing to let it go for. So, if you drove all the way across town, to pick something up, and you only picked up one thing, you paid $10 for it, or let's say you pay $50 for it, and you had to drive across town, then for you wouldn't be willing to sell that item for $50. You wouldn't want to let it go, because that's basically a loss for you. Now, maybe you'd be willing to let it go for 60 or maybe 75. But again, the market does determine the value of that item. But if you're not sure, you can always list it at a low price, and let the market determine the value of that item. Another time that it's really good to use an auction is whenever you've had a particular item for a long time. It's been sitting in your inventory or in your house, just taking up space for a month or 6 months, or depending on how quickly you're looking to get rid of things, or how quickly you're looking to turn over that item, is going to depend on whether you might want to drop it like it's hot and put it on auction. Because I've had items that that I know are worth money. Let's say I have something and it's been in my store for I don't know, let's say 6 months, 8 months, and I'm just tired of looking at it, and I know that particular item is worth around, let's just say, $60. Well, what I will do is many times is just drop it, like I said, drop it like it's hot, put it on an auction for, say, $24.99, $19.99, which is dirt cheap. But after you've held on to something for so long, that item is actually beginning to cost you money. So just keep these things in mind when you're out there shopping. In this game, space is money. So there can always be something better in that space. And if you've had something for a really long time, put it on an auction, and watch it go. Now, there is an exception to all of these rules, and that exception is clothing. Clothing is a very specialized industry, and it's a lot different from your average just hard goods. The thing with clothing is it has a low intrinsic value. So in other words, you can pick up let's say a Hollister shirt, and you're trying to get let's say $30 for it. Well, the actual intrinsic value of that shirt's about $2 or $3. In other words, I could run down to my local Walmart or Costco and pick up a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt for a couple, $2 or $3, maybe $5 max. So that's the actual intrinsic value of that shirt is $3 to $5. But it's fashion. So the thing about fashion, the good thing about fashion, and the bad thing, is that the value is in the eye of the beholder. In other words, whatever someone's willing to pay for that article of clothing is what it's worth. And there is actually an exception to that rule, and it is this. It's if that article of clothing is hot, if it's really trending right now, and then it's on fire, then in that case, you could actually put it as an auction. And a perfect example of this would be the Affliction t-shirts. And I see everyone turning their heads and trying to look away, but you wore those Affliction shirts. We all did. They were hot, but now most people they're not wearing them like they used to. I still like them. I don't think they're bad looking shirts ever. They're a little dark, maybe a little goth, but hey, if that's your thing, hey, to each his own. But like I said, I think they're pretty cool, but needless to say, they're not hot anymore. So you could take an Affliction shirt, a couple of years ago, and you could throw it on an auction, say for $9.99, and just watch it go. Watch it go up, and it's going to go for upwards of 50, 60, 70 bucks. But now you can take that same Affliction shirt, throw it on an auction for $9.99, and you'll be lucky to get one bid on it. So, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and so is fashion. So keep that in mind when listing clothes. All right, that's it, guys. Hopefully this has cleared things up for you guys as far as, how to price your items and whether to list them as an auction or buy it now. If you have any other questions, you can drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to learn how you can work from home, be your own boss, and create the life that you love. So until my next video, I'll see you guys in the future. Be good. Peace out.